Tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I'd really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. And tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I'm on my way to see her. So tell me, am I very far? Am I very far now? Am I very far now?
Hey guys, so happy Samhain and happy beginning of your week if you're starting it today. It's Monday, it's Halloween, aka Samhain. I'm going to do a quick weekly check-in for you because I am falling behind myself and my own schedule. I'm falling behind with these. So I'm going to do this the quickest and the best I can without giving you guys too much information on the path work that we did the past week, or week and a half in my case, because I just felt like I needed more time with it. And that's what's really good about taking courses like these online, is that if you feel like you need to take more time with it, you absolutely can. It's at your own pace or whatever. So this week's lesson, if you will, was titled, it's week 4, by the way, and it's titled The Temple. Now, the temple is the temple that we witches perform in. So you can think of this, a lot of witches, especially solitary, think of this as their sacred space. What's really interesting about the sacred space involved with Black Rose Witchcraft is that since it's an online community and an online course, in order to interact with other witches, we astrally go somewhere to basically commune with our fellow coven members and students. So that's what we did. We followed a bird basically through some heavy terrain and found a circle there. Now, I don't want to discuss too much because, like I've said, when I first started making these check-in videos, I feel like a lot of the writing and the lore with the writing is kind of like subject to copyright. If you want to know more than what I tell you, you should definitely sign up for the course yourself. I'm only paying $25 a month. In fact, my second installment of $25 just came off my card yesterday. So basically in this path work, I met a hag or a crone, if you will, who asked me who I was. Very intently, actually, she asked me who I was. And she asked it so deeply that you just knew that she wasn't asking me my name. She wasn't asking where I worked. She wasn't asking me about mundane. She was really asking me who my soul was. Who was I? And I panicked, I had read the path work before I started doing it. I had a general idea of what I was going to say, but when push came to shove, I was really looking for something like quick and subtle, not really subtle, but I don't know. I felt like it needed to be deeper. So I answered her with one word, and that was love. And immediately after I answered with that word, I became very worried that maybe that wasn't what she wanted, or maybe I was trying too hard, basically. She seemed satisfied by the way her face looked, and the path work continued. I continued to the Sabbath, and while I was there, I saw particularly small groups of people. There weren't a lot of people there. Now, basically, what this temple is, like I said, it's a gathering of fellow witches who've practiced witchcraft, or at least Sabbatic witchcraft in this sense. So you've got your Black Rose witches there, but you've also got witches there who have practiced before, ancestor witches, if you will. So I kind of felt it was important to notice who was around me. During this visit, there weren't very many people there, but I did notice maybe 7 to 9 people. I get there, and there's a magister, or a priest, if you will, who's leading the circle. And he had the head of a deer. And in the path work, they ask you to kind of figure out if his head is really that of a deer or if he's wearing a mask. I still to this day, sorry, my neighbor walked by. I still to this day can't, I'm not comfortable enough to make that decision. I'm kind of going ahead and assuming it's his actual head, because I can't, there's actual eyes in the deer head, so. But he asked me why I was here. Kind of like a priest would at the beginning if you entered a circle, He held the sword up. He asked me, why are you here? And I told him, after a little bit of consideration, he's like, why are you here? Why have you come here? And I told him, because I always feel to. And even though it doesn't make a lot of sense now after I say it, I feel like he understood, because he instantly let me in, and he just seemed satisfied. Again, he seemed satisfied with what I said, which relieved me. So then after that, I just kind of sat around again and just kind of chillaxed in the temple, basically, and studied it a little bit, studied what was around me, who was around me. And I've actually got my handy-dandy journal here. And I made notes about the people that I saw. One group of people that piqued my interest were 2 women and 1 man, who seemed like they were from the 60s. And I just said that because of their weird haircuts. They were half-dressed and relaxing and eating at an area that seemed designated for seating, which I found really interesting. So they were really lounging. None of them had shirts on or tops, but they all had bottoms, no robes. And they were just chit-chatting and sitting and kind of like eating the feast that was there. But I found it interesting that people are just sitting around here. Nobody seemed to be doing any actual magical work, which was interesting to me. Not what I expected. I made note that no one seemed to mind me staring at them or observing them, and that I started to find it hard to focus on just one particular group of people. There were 2 women also who seemed to know each other well. They seemed to be really close, kind of laughing and giggling and dancing, sky-clad, completely naked. and they were pretty interesting. And I think those are the only two groups of people that I noted. So, what is really interesting anyway is not so much the people that I noticed, but after I began to leave, after, the circle kind of died down, I wrote, before I left, the Magister gave me a tool or a wand of some kind that had a swirl or some sort of weird knot at the end of it, and seemed to be adorned with beads and feathers. I took it as a welcome gift and thanked him in return. And that's kind of one of those instances where, like, how you dream. Sorry if I'm shaking you, but how you dream of receiving something or buying something that you've really wanted. Maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm materialistic. But buying something you really wanted, or somebody gives it to you in your dream, and you wake up and you're just kind of like, oh man, dang, it was just a dream. That's kind of the instance I felt. Like I couldn't bring that item back with me. So, pretty interesting. We were meant to revisit again, and kind of put the practice of visiting in and lighting our sacred flame candle, or our power candle, if you will, the black working candle. We were told to use a different way of going to the temple. It's a little shorter and a little quicker to get us there, and I have been practicing that way, and it's working pretty well for me so far. So now I'm getting into the sense of really putting everything together, the relaxation, the grounding practice, and the temple practice, or opening the way practice, as a daily thing, or at least as many times throughout the week as I can. So it's all going pretty well. I'm running over 13 minutes, and there's really nothing else to say other than that. But yeah, pretty interesting these lessons are so far. So I hope you guys have an awesome week and a blessed and safe Samhain. Blessed be.